Hello everyone. Thank you for joining in today. I welcome you to the today's session on unlock intelligence from data. During the session, if you have any queries, you see a chat option on the right hand side of your YouTube channel. Please feel free to type in your questions, or in case you have any query on the chat options. We have parked a dedicated slot during the end of the session to take up the questions. Allow me to introduce two our subject matter experts today. So we have with us Mr. Praful Mehrotra. He is a customer engineer at Google Cloud based in Gurgaon, India. He works with SMB and startups in India across various industry verticals and product areas. In his previous role at Amazon, he has worked with startups that were part of top startup accelerators such as Y Combinator, StartX, etc. In his free time, he enjoys reading and having discussions on machine learning. Praful has a degree on computer engineering from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So I'll just have a quick detailing. Now, I would also like to introduce you to Mr. Manjuna Devdas, who's the CEO and supply chain domain expert in Pluto 7. Mr. Devdas is an overall 20 years plus experience in retail and manufacturing, predictive analytic, and as an executive, technology leader and architect. He has helped companies with business transformation and revolutionize the way people do business, specifically solving marketing, sales, and supply chain problems with AI and ML. His business transformation experience comes with the combined knowledge of the application of AI, deep learning, TensorFlow, machine learning from enterprise and SMB with a container-based serverless architecture, solution as a service products creation, gained through strategic partnership with Google. We also have with us our third speaker for today, who is Mr. Pulkit Gupta, Senior Cloud Tech Lead, Pluto 7. Mr. Gupta is an artificial intelligence enthusiast who loves to explore new ideas and technologies. He has an experience of approximately 5 years and have worked on plethora of technologies including deep learning, machine learning, computer vision, and Android. Apart from technical expertise, he is a natural leader and an excellent orator who loves to teach the technical stuff to his fellow beings. So, without any further delay, I would now request Mr. Praful to start the session. Over to you, Praful.
Thank you, Amrita. Hello, everyone. My name is Praful. I'm a customer engineer. Thanks for that lovely introduction, Amrita. Happy to be here to talk to all of you about smart analytics and AI. For someone like me, this is something that's very, very personal and close because, as Amrita said, right, I really, really love talking about machine learning and about data stacks. So, would love to hear what all you folks are interested in towards the end of the session. And yeah, with that, let's get started. Um, we all know this, but it just makes sense to repeat this, right? There is a lot of data that is being generated at any given point of time. For example, let's say any pictures you take or any images you take, right? There has been an exponential increase in all that sort of data, right? There has been an increase in logging information, tracking information over the last few years, and this increase is just going up and up. To give you some context, according to IDC, we expect about 175 zettabytes of data by 2025. So that's a lot of data. To put that in context for you, that's the equivalent of a cat video that's about twice as long as the age of the universe at this point. So that's a long, long time period. But to make matters a bit more interesting, it's very, very important to build a solution stack that is durable and scalable because what then happens is that as as a customer, you're not then able to get ready for building our AI layer on top of your data analytics stack. And that's where we come in, right? At Google, we encounter these challenges as a norm. We do this day in and day out. In fact, on about 9 consumer-facing products that we have currently have more than 1 billion users. So just to make a quick guess, right, or a guesstimate as to which of these 9 products are currently with that sort of usage, just pick up your phone and see all the Google applications, right? There's a good chance that any of the top 8 or 9 products you're thinking of, those are the exact 8 or 9 products that have those 1 billion users. And the great thing with Google Cloud is that um, we run on the same proven and reliable technology principles that power these multi billion user services. At Google Cloud, our vision is to build an enterprise cloud data platform with proven dependability. We want to do this to ensure that all our customers are data driven and can make these decisions as easily as possible. There are a few overarching themes to this, starting with being a platform that's open and flexible. So I will talk about this in some context later in the session, but we have a solution called Anthos that allows customers to build hybrid environments. We have something called BigQuery Omni as well that makes it possible to move faster there. Uh, in addition to that, we also want to make our intelligent Google technology readily available to our customers. And to do all of that by providing the experience of running solutions at scale so that our customers can leverage our experience and operate in a scalable manner. So, what is smart analytics? Well, it's this slide. This is our end to end smart analytics platform where we have built out a solution stack for every single step of your data journey, starting with the collect step, where you can just ingest data from multiple areas across your entire solution stack, be it something like Cloud Pops Up, which is a publisher subscriber messaging service, or services like our data transfer service or migration service that allow bulk load entry into GCP. Uh, Following this, we have our processing engine. That's where our core processing services lie. For example, we have Dataflow, which is our serverless streaming solution. We have Dataproc. So for all those of you who are very, very familiar with Hadoop, Spark, or just want to ensure that there is a way to bring your MapReduce workloads onto Google Cloud, this is the solution for you. We then have something like Data Fusion that allows you to build your data pipelines at scale. This builds on top of Dataproc, making it very, very easy and manageable. And lastly, Data Prep, which is a wrangling service. So all the data analysts and the data scientists who get their data available and then want to do some pre-processing, that's the solution that you should be looking at. After this, you then want a scalable and readily available solution to store your data. That's where our cloud storage solution comes in. That's our blob store where you can dump just about anything and everything, be it images, be it analytical data, be it logging data, anything at all, as long as it's binary information. Cloud storage is the place to dump just about everything. We also have built out a stack that builds on top of our database solution. So if you're someone who has a lot of data in their existing SQL solution or a NoSQL solution, you can actually build a data processing pipeline on top of that, which then brings me to the analyze step, and that's where BigQuery lies. So BigQuery in some ways underpins just about everything that we have when it comes to analytics on GCP. It's our serverless, highly available, highly scalable data warehouse solution. I'll talk about this quite a bit in the rest of my session, but this is one of those solutions that is, in some ways, the bread and butter for just about any analytics pipeline you will end up building on Google Cloud, which then leaves us with the last step of activating this information, right? So you have all this data that's coming in, then you have cleaned it up, made a bit of pre-processing, stored it, analyzed it, and have generated insights. The last step is then to figure out what you do with those insights. That's where our AI layer comes in. So we have solutions like AI Platform, which is our end-to-end machine learning service that allows you to build your own custom machine learning models or even use our own built-in machine learning models. I won't talk about this in too much context right now. I'll bring it up towards the end. And then we also have solutions like Looker. So there are lots and lots of services on Google Cloud, but it's important to remember the overarching strategies that are involved in building an end-to-end data analytics solution, right? Starting with migrating your data, um, be it a data lake or a data warehouse to cloud, because this is something that we recommend that you get started with before you do anything at all, because this quite dramatically lowers your TCO on the platform. Then, what this has a great benefit of doing is that it helps you to democratize analytics. So you can also get started with building a data driven culture. This in turn has a knock on effect of helping customers make decisions faster and in a real time manner. Like I said on the previous slide, AI is an important aspect to all of this and generally builds on top of your data and analytics pipeline, right? So there are a number of packaged AI solutions that customers can just deploy readily. And on top of that, we also provide you with a scalable platform to operationalize these workflows. With that, let's unpack each of these, starting with how you can reduce your total cost of ownership. Traditional data warehouses are a challenge when it comes to business transformation, right? For starters, it's incredibly difficult to scale fast enough to keep up with data growth. We now live in a cloud world where customers want um, things to scale only when needed, not before, not after. So data warehouse are stuck in not being readily available to do just that. Secondly, data is not fresh or current enough. We now live in a world where a lot of streaming data is coming into all our platforms, right? In fact, by 2025, we expect about 25% of the data to be streaming in nature. Data access is an issue as well because data is siloed across multiple solutions. So it becomes very, very difficult to centralize things and make it available for your stakeholders like data analysts and data scientists to use this data to generate insights. It's it's very expensive also to purchase and maintain these legacy systems, and then it's also very difficult to build a machine learning stack on top of all of this. And then it's for all these reasons and more that industry leaders rely on Google Cloud for their data modernization. Uh, we help customers accelerate time to value by building a solution like BigQuery, which is a serverless, self-tuning, and highly scalable solution. So you don't really need to spend too much time on the operational aspect of building a data warehouse. You can just get started right away. Uh, we help customers uh, generate instant insights with real-time analytics. So this is something I'll bring up a bit later, but that's where a solution like PubSub and BigQuery comes into the equation. We help customers power advanced and predictive analytics, so you can operationalize machine learning without having to move any data. It's very easy to share insights at scale, so you can just create data sets and queries right away as and when data is being pushed into your platform. You don't need to really retool anything. And lastly, as a platform, we want to build something that allows you to trust everything implicitly. So we provide 99.9% SLA and automatic replication across any given region where we are located. Here's a great example of cost implications for using a solution like BigQuery, right? Where we are able to show 41% lower TCO than a comparable solution on AWS and a 52% lower TCO than an on-prem environment. But then things are changing, right? We spoke about data warehouses quite a bit, but that's not the only area where data is housed. One term that you will hear quite a bit in this cloud world is data lake, and these lines are getting blurred by the day. It just doesn't stop from a data platform perspective. Even our the data stakeholder roles are converging. So you are in a scenario where you need data engineers who can use the appropriate BI tools, or data scientists or ML scientists who need the right machine learning framework. So interoperability is the key here. We want our customers to look at a data lake as a business asset, not just an IT cost. In fact, what you will notice here is that a lot of the points that I made 2 slides ago about how a data warehouse solution is great on Google Cloud apply here as well, starting with how we can provide large scale performance at a lower cost, reduce operational complexity, protect your data and operate with trust, break down data silos, and lastly, use artificial intelligence to extract value from unstructured data. Now, doing all that I just described on the previous slide can be very challenging because migration, no matter where you're from, is not always easy. There are challenges like you may not even know where to start from, or the migration might be complex or bumpy depending on what your underlying solution is at this point. You may want the migration to be as simple and as fast as possible, and you don't know if you can maybe even trust your new warehouse security. So for this reason, what we have done is we've gone ahead and built out a number of solutions that build around our main data lake and data warehouse solutions. We also have a very well written migration framework that effectively can be run as a playbook for all of you, where you can understand what are the multiple steps involved in doing such a migration. I would definitely recommend spending some time and taking a look at that. So now that we have migrated, the next step is to build a platform that democratizes this data and helps you to build a data culture. With GCP, we want our customers to have peace of mind so that they don't have to worry about data access and data security at any given point of time. And we do this by building data protection at scale. So services like Key Management Service or KMS allow you to encrypt your data in transit and at rest. You can also bring your own managed keys as well. Secondly, we supply tools and technology to efficiently govern your data. So solutions like DLP or data loss prevention can help you classify and de-identify your data. Services like identity and access management can help you control access to any given data set. And then we have another solution called Data Catalog, which I'll talk about in a bit, that can help you discover and manage data. We also support compliance requirements with third-party certifications and audits. And lastly, we believe that trust is created through a culture of transparency. By that, what I mean is we have a service called Access Transparency Logs that effectively allows you to access uh, all the activities that maybe Google would have done on your behalf on your existing platform. So with that, um, let's take a look at Data Catalog, right? So Data Catalog is a fully managed and scalable metadata management service that can help you quickly discover and understand all your data assets in Google Cloud. This is a very important service to help you build a data culture because it's very important for your data stakeholders to know exactly where the data is and get a better sense of how this data works. With BigQuery, we are providing a centralized data solution, enabling you to move data from multiple silos. What makes BigQuery attractive is its no-ops serverless platform solution. But the one thing we are also noticing is that even though our customers are moving to a centralized setup, they are still hanging on to the old way of working in this data warehouse setup. And that's where it becomes very important to build a centralized analytical pipeline where you don't have to worry about managing your analytic setup. You should not have to, worry about being too slow for a data world because you don't want your data team to be stuck running ad hoc queries instead of, mining your data and making those insights readily available. And that's where Looker comes in. Looker is our cloud native BI tool with an extensible API. Looker can resolve the challenges of analytics-based silos by providing you a centralized governed BI tool. We help you, integrate insights anywhere. So if it's a dashboard that you want to create, a custom application, or even data-driven workflows, we can help you with all of that. There's a lot of potential with the way you can, work with Looker. So I would, again, definitely recommend spending some time with Looker. Now that we have taken these great steps towards building a data culture, we should now be thinking about how we can make these decisions faster by using artificial intelligence. Customers are spending a lot of time on building real-time analytics, and there has been a massive influx of such data like IoT, clickstream data, or social media information, right? For example, we have Google Cloud customers who are using streaming analytics to build a personalized online customer experience, or predict real-time maintenance requirements in complex manufacturing systems, or even offering a compelling mobile gaming experience to thousands of players based on real-time gaming data. And this is where our serverless and powerful streaming analytics solution comes in, right? So for each of those steps that are a part of a streaming pipeline, we have a service that can help you. For example, starting with the ingest step, I spoke about this right at the beginning. We have a solution called Cloud PubSub, which is a simple, reliable messaging service. Then for the transform and enrich step, we have Cloud Data Flow, which is built on top of Apache Beam. So if you are someone who's worked with Apache Beam before, you can just bring that solution as is onto Dataflow. Then on the analyze step, we have BigQuery. Again, we've spoken about this quite a bit, but the great thing with BigQuery here is that it can build on your streaming setup. And lastly, the activate step, where you could look at using our AI platform. In addition to building a streaming solution, we also have something like BigQuery that allows you to, generate insights right where your data is, right? So what BigQuery ML can actually do is that, let's say if you are someone who wants to build a machine learning model on your data warehouse setup, what BigQuery ML can do is you can actually write a machine learning model using SQL queries only. So this becomes really powerful and in some ways affects the velocity of how you can generate insights for your end users. So this now brings us to our AI set of solutions, right? That builds on top of all the data analytics services that I spoke about on the previous slide. You have your data, you cleaned it up, you pre-processed it, and now you want to make those insights work for you. That's where artificial intelligence comes in. One thing to think about is that with Google Cloud, you don't have to build everything from scratch. We allow you to use our own marketplace solution. So if you're someone who is not very experienced with ML, you can just use our solutions like AI Hub that has a lot of ML models that you can use right away. You could look at using our managed API solutions like Cloud Vision API and Video Intelligence API. Or if you're someone who wants to work in a more customized manner, we have the opportunity to help you build an end-to-end AI platform. But my recommendation is to be very clear from the very beginning as to what it is you're trying to do and how much time you're willing to put in. Few examples of these prepackaged solutions are AutoML video. So if you're someone who wants to do some sort of video classification or action recognition or even object tracking, you can actually use AutoML, where you can effectively build a machine learning model without even writing a single line of code. Another such solution is our contact center AI solution. So if you are someone who wants to improve the customer service experience of your end users when they're reaching out to you for support, contact center AI effectively builds on top of our managed solutions like Dialogflow to help you automate a lot of the workflows involved during customer experience, right? Like getting information from the users, tracking information, transcribing your calls, all of that in some ways works through Cloud Center, through Contact Center AI. Also, another solution to think about could be our document understanding AI. So we can actually, just uh, use document understanding AI to, extract insights from any data. For example, in this case, we have DocuSign, who's able to, extract insights from your W9 form. So this brings me to the last section of my session, which is how would you, empower your data and ML teams, right? So the one aspect is to build a prepackaged, sorry, to use our prepackaged solutions, but the other aspect is to also maybe think of what part of the rest of the AI stack might make sense for you. So, like you can see on the slide, there are three main set of services on GCP when it comes to AI. We have our out-of-the-box solutions like CCAI and Document AI. We have our building blocks such as the ML APIs, AutoML, and even BigQuery ML. And then our custom AI platform, where you can just use our AI platform pipelines, notebooks, or our prediction and training service to build an end-to-end solution. The thing to think about here would be is that be very clear about what you're trying to do and how is it that you're trying to do this, right? So some criteria to keep in mind would be speed, as in how quickly do you want to move to market, effort, how much time you're willing to put in, and how much time your team has, and differentiation, right? Because of the sort of solutions that we have on our when it comes to our AI out of the box solutions, it may just be possible that you don't even have to build anything from scratch. So you can just go ahead and use those out of the box solutions. But be very clear that if you're trying to differentiate, what sort of differentiation are you trying to build? And to put it all together, right, this AI platform just builds on top of that data lake and data warehouse solution, right? So by building an AI data science platform, we are enabling machine learning scientists and data scientists to experiment with the data uh, that's part of the platform, to generate insights, to access data from data lake and data warehouse. So all of those features become readily possible and available. And then over a period of time, as you start realizing that there is some more value that you can build, that's where you can use the ML ops set of services that we have on GCP. So to recap, uh, think of these five main points, right? Starting with reduce your total cost of ownership by moving to Google Cloud. You can democratize analytics and build a data culture as and when you start moving this data onto GCP. Then this has a knock-on effect of helping you make these decisions in context faster and real time. On top of which is built our AI set of solutions where you can leapfrog ahead using our end-to-end packaged AI applications, or even build custom solutions. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Praful. I think the session has been really beneficial for our attendees today. Thank you for giving us the insights on the big query and the related informations. Now, I would request Mr. Manjunath to start with his respective session. Manjunath, I believe you're on mute. I'll just unmute.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we can hear you now. We can hear you now. Yeah.
Hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right. First of all, thank you, Praful, for the wonderful walkthrough. Um, my name is Manju Devdas, founder CEO of Pluto 7. I have been through about 400 plus customer conversations where they have been in different stages of their journey of adopting smart analytics over the last 3 years. And between myself and my colleague Pulkit here, we'll walk you through some of those examples on how customers belonging to different segments, be it a small SMB customer or a large enterprise, how they've adopted these Google best practices combined with the amazing capabilities that Praful just walked you through. The capabilities that we have always been using it for the most part for over a decade, but never really looked at it from that perspective. However, today the same platform is enabled for business use. Before I go into the examples, a little bit background about Pluto 7. We focus on smart analytics and smart analytics for supply chain and higher education. When we work with hundreds of customers, getting or helping them get on the journey, whether it's learning about Google Cloud, conducting a proof of concept, migrating the data warehouse or infrastructure, all of them primarily were with the intent to become data driven. There could be other terms that I used like digital transformation, business transformation, but in essence, what all those transformations lead to is doing having a better way of conducting their business, leveraging data more than what they did before. As we work with our customers, and having done this many times, we gain the Partner of the Year award from Google, as well as carry multiple specialization in application development, uh, data analytics, machine learning. Customers is really looking at their business problem, looking at are we picking the right business problem to solve, ensuring that there is clear value engineering, understanding of solving the problem, using the different GCP components the right way. Once we build the solution, not just making sure that the solution works, does it fit with your business process? Is the change management addressed? Is there proper data governance in place? Is security thought through from start to finish? These are some of the things that we walk in and work with our customers to enable in the new world. When I say the new world, as in the smart analytics enable in a cloud infrastructure with a serverless architecture while existing in your hybrid cloud environment. Here are some of the examples of some of the customers that we have worked with. We worked with a variety of use cases from improving the taste of beer for Budweiser to defining where to helping determine what drill bit to use when Schlumberger is drilling oil wells in the middle of an ocean, or coals, determining the demand forecast by a particular zip code and a customer segment or product segment, working with many automobile companies in India as well as around the world. The common theme here is the framework of smart analytics architecture is the same. The data sets might be different, the business problems might be different, but the frameworks are similar. What we do is we start off with making sure that we understand where you're in your journey. Being data driven or enabling AI for business transformation or digital transformation or improving your business process, leveraging more data intelligence as digital twin. No matter how you describe it, we first look at where you are today. Many of your businesses already have some kind of a data storage, data marts, data warehouses. You probably have servers on premise as well as, um, sorry, one second. Let me just, so hopefully my screen continues to show right. So as we continue to evolve with these data driven transformation journey, we make sure that no matter where you are, what does it take for you to get to the next level? And those could be whether you are doing it for productivity improvements or differentiation or any of those. Sorry about that. So I need to probably reload. All right. Okay. As we move along, here are some sample use cases that we solve when it comes to working with enterprises, whether it's supply chain, marketing, or sales. Using the smart analytics framework, we understand your vision, strategy, translate that into use cases, set up the data warehouse and machine learning models, and embed that as part of your current business environment, business operations, embed, integrate with your SAPs, Oracle, Salesforce, and that becomes part of your mainstream business. And as the way we do it is we start with the business architecture, defining your business problem, your strategy, vision, whether you're new to cloud or you're in the journey on halfway through, you already are present in AWS and Azure. Now you're looking at Google Cloud for analytics, or if you're completely transforming your existing infrastructure to migrate into Google Cloud with analytics being one of your key drivers. Enabling smart analytics, AI, and collaboration to serve your business is what we focus on. And as we do this, we put the foundation of business architecture with smart analytics, enabling your data centralization with machine learning models and ML ops to operationalize those models so that the predictions that are made are meaningful for your business. And it's whether it's your data you're streaming or batch, the model recommendations fits into the frequencies and expectations of your business process and the people who use it. If you take supply chain customers as an example, the way we have adapted the smart analytics framework is to enable this with feeding in whether your demand, supplier, inventory, logistics, many of those data sources. Primarily, it makes its way into BigQuery, and from there you enable machine learning models or visualizations, or take the output and directly feed into in the form of whether you're sending a text message or into any of the existing applications. As we solve these problems, when customers start realizing that models that are built, like for example, AB InBev model built on 6 weeks has saved about $10 million, or with Levi Strauss, with whom where we solve simple problems like how many jeans fits in a particular carton. Looks like a simple problem, but when you actually try to do this for many varieties of jeans, many varieties of cartons, and optimizing your shipments and logistics, becomes a complex mathematical problem needing machine learning. Similarly, when as an enterprise, when you start looking at it for example, automobile company, we looked at one problem and then started solving many problem and defined a journey to be data driven. With that, let me pass it on to Pulkit, who will walk you through some of the real world examples and take it forward. Over to you, Pulkit.
Thank you, Manju, for your informative session. Hope I'm audible to all.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
we can hear you.
and is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so folks, after what Manju has presented, I'll walk you through some of the use cases that Pluto 7 has worked upon. First of them is working with one of the largest public utility companies, and these people basically work out with a lot of data, structured data, unstructured data in the form of videos, images taken by helicopters and drones. And the main idea is to reduce the probability of wildfires. This is where we are helping this particular company to build the whole data science platform so that they can intelligently take decisions and basically reduce the probabilities of wildfires, and basically help out the people in the community with the less power cuts. This is again, we are helping Cisco actually to improve their customer campaigns, to improve their marketing campaigns by understanding their customer journey. So these people are collecting a lot of data over different platforms, but they were not having one central repository where they can analyze this whole data. And that is where Pluto 7 is helping them out to build this whole platform and define the customer journey, understand what customer thinks about their products, and propose and personalize the customer experience while presenting those products to these customers. Again, since Pluto 7 has worked a lot on Google Cloud Platform, since we understand these products very well, that is where we are helping Paytm out in managing their data warehouses. So when we started this journey with Paytm, they were billing around 80 lakhs on GCP. And now when Pluto 7 worked with them, we reduced their cost, we optimized their costs to around 25 lakhs to 30 lakhs. So that is how we have been helping out Paytm in their journey on Google Cloud Platform. So not only in adapting to the new technologies, but also helping them out in optimizing those technologies in the best way possible. The Again, Bharti Exa is one of the largest insurance companies in India. These people are collecting a lot of data from their on field surveys, from their marketing campaigns from their customers. But this data was lying in silos, and they were having no means to actually view the 360-degree view of their operations of their business. And that is where we have helped them out to again create that one platform where they can have all this data, and they can build ML models on top of it. In fact, we have built certain ML models as well for them on top of this data, where they can predict their loss ratio, and accordingly helping their businesses to take decisions in real time. TVS. So TVS is something that has signed a multi-million contract with GCP, and this was something there in the news a 1 month back. Pluto 7 was one of the very few partners of Google Cloud that started the journey with TVS and its division of TASPL. And when we worked with TVS, we tried to again build that platform that can give them the forecasting of their orders, how much components they need, basically building the whole control tower that can help them out to understand their needs, their requirements. And again, in this COVID-19 scenario, we all know that how much the supply chain got disturbed. But with machine learning models in place, these people can have the real time requirements for their raw parts, for the manufacturing, how much manufacturing they have to do, what are the requirements in the inventory in their mother warehouse or in their satellite warehouse. Or in fact, we are also helping them out in improving their service centers by diagnosing the problems in the vehicles much ahead of the time. So this is how we have been working with TVS. Dexterity. Dexterity is another customer based out of US that works on the genomics data. And we all know how huge this genes data could be. These people used to take around 210 hours to do one analytics on top of this data. With Dexterity, we are providing them the power of Google Cloud Platform, where we have reduced the time from 210 hours to 10 hours for that very analytics, and therefore optimizing the costs as well. Initially, they were billing around $178 for one analytics, and now the same task is being done in $1. So that is how the things are being done for Dexterity. After going through these use cases and some of the case studies, I would also like to focus on some of the offerings and services that Pluto 7 provide to their customers. Definitely, data warehouse migration is one key workload that we do for our customers. But apart from that, in case someone wants to move their database to Google Cloud, or wants to do the application migration to just leverage the auto scaling and no ops services of Google Cloud, we help our customers there as well. Also, with our experience in the last few years with our customers, we have built a very skilled team which can help you out in maintaining your cloud architecture on GCP, in maintaining the security around it, in maintaining the resources, and in optimizing those resources. Again, from the data engineering front, we can help you out in maintaining your data pipelines, in cost optimization. And one topic that is the buzz in the town, that is ML ops, and even Praful was talking about it. Our team can help you with that, maintaining the right data pipelines, maintaining the CI/CD pipelines to train and retrain your models with the new data as and when it arrives. So that is something we are providing to the customers, and we are looking for providing these services to more of our customers. Again, as the official reseller of Google Cloud Platform services, Pluto 7 can work with the customers in as the resellers for GCP. where we can help you out in optimizing your cloud cost. In We can help you out in simplified payments, and we can even help you in defining your roadmap on cloud. Not only that, we can also connect you with the Googlers if required, and provide you workshops and live demos in case you have any requirement on any particular topic or any particular service. We have been doing this with Paytm, and we would like to do the same with our customers ahead. And to to make sure that our customers gain the best out of our services, we engage with our customers on different fronts, right? We start with them with the workshop, where we would like to understand their business model. We would like to understand what are their pain points, and then moving on to a POC that can help the customers understand the capabilities of Pluto 7 and Google Cloud. Once they are satisfied with the POC outcome, we basically deploy those that solution in the production environment, where these customers can leverage and the power of Google Cloud. Once done, we move on to the production, where we try to bring more workloads to GCP, and basically enhance the customers power and customers view and customers capabilities around the data, and convert them into a data driven organization. Definitely, we do provide support as well for the services or for the developments that we do on Google Cloud Platform. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my end. Amrita, please take over.
Amrita, can you hear
Can you hear
us?
us now? Can you? Oh, thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
just pointing out. Thank you, Pulkit and Manjunath, for taking up these sessions and giving us an introduction to Pluto 7, and also how, our customers can help with the solutions, and how you can help them with their implementation journey. So now the forum is open for the Q&A session. I would request everyone to put on their questions on the chat options. We are now taking it one by one. And while we are doing so, I would also request the attendees to fill up this specific form that I have just pasted in on the chat option. We would like to understand your viewpoint, and if there is any information that you want us to cover, please do mention. And I also request everyone to fill in this particular form so that we can take your feedback and do the implementations in the later stages as well. Thank you. Uh, so I'll take up the questions one by one. So there's a question for you, Praful, from Divyans, who is asking, how do you think streaming data analysis can help in e-commerce? Praful, you would like to take this up?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the question, Amrita. And the idea, right, with streaming analytics is that you want this data to be coming in at any point of time and to have insights readily available on that data, right? So, what one thing to think about here, at least in the context of e-commerce, is that let's say you are trying to build a recommendations engine, right? How would you do that? That's where the streaming data comes in, where you would need to track clickstream analytics data. You would need to track what customers are searching for. You would want to track what data they are what orders are they creating, what items are they putting into their shopping bucket. So all that information gives you a better idea of what sort of recommendations you might want to make the next time they were to, let's say, show up on your page, or if a very similar profile of customers were to show up again, right? And one great solution to put all of this together would be our recommendations AI service. that actually builds on top of BigQuery itself. So if you were to build a pipeline where you have data coming in through, let's say, Cloud pops up, which then pushes data into Dataflow for processing, which then pushes data into BigQuery for querying. You would then use something like Recommendations AI on top of BigQuery to build an end-to-end recommendations engine that can generate those insights as customers are accessing your e-commerce platform. That's the one way to think about it when it comes to how streaming pipeline can help you with your e-commerce setup.
Thank you, Praful. So there's another question for Manjunath. This question is from Divya. She's asking, uh, can you please explain AI capabilities and use cases for marketing?
Okay, thank you, Divya. If you look at among many of our customers that we are working with, one of the most common function business unit that uses cloud and AI early on is marketing. Naturally, because of the volume of data that they have to deal with, the kind of data mining that they have to do to get to whether a customer segmentation or product segmentation, or determining what content to leverage to do the next campaign, be it an email campaign or some kind of a campaign to identify customers' interest. Machine learning and AI has helped make many of these aspects more dynamic. In the sense, dynamic customer segmentation based on the changing customers' interests, which could be changed based on time, based on environment, based on COVID. This is one aspect that's coming up a lot because the demand patterns have changed, the demand signals have changed with COVID for certain products being high demand, certain being low demand. How do you sense that? And that's where machine learning and AI is playing a role in mining through this data, finding patterns, and coming up with recommendations on what to focus on. Then comes identifying customers' lifetime value. While it has always been a need to understand customers' lifetime value, but mining internal and external data, especially combining external data and finding patterns, and then determining who is your most valuable customer, and that can change over a period of time. And that's why these machine learning models, when you operationalize it, they will rank and re-rank your priority customers as well as the lifetime value of customers as time progresses. And the last but the most obvious one is what are the combination of contacts, content, and context to apply to improve the click ratios for their email campaign. So this is another use case. So there is now when it comes to the use cases, depending on the industries, there are some really sophisticated use cases that you'll find in marketing. And then the same thing is expanding into sales function, and supply chain, and so on. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Manjunath. Hope Divya, your question is answered. In case you have any further query, please do type in, or you can also send it us as response@dineep.com. So we have another question for you, Manjunath. It says, can you talk about apprehensions faced by an enterprise before starting a data journey?
Yep. The term AI, and it's less concerning today than it was a few years back. However, still AI is considered as magical or a complex technology. In reality, in AI and these machine learning and deep neural nets, a lot of these capabilities, we are already using it in whether it's a smart assistant or in our mobile phone in some form, we are using those without realizing it. The first apprehension that we see when we work with business is this notion of AI is complex. If you refer to what Praful mentioned in his presentation, he broke it up in many different ways: build versus buy, custom versus pre-built versus completely packaged for you. There are many variations to this. So the complexity can be hidden, and you can leverage it where what you need for your business, and don't have to get into the complexity. So dealing with complexity is the second apprehension that businesses have. And many times they think they need to hire a lot of machine learning engineers and data scientists to solve a problem. The reality is it is not as complex as they think. The third is transforming their people, which is the harder part, wherein you have a workforce which has worked on rule-based system for a long time. Now you need to bring them up to speed in terms of these capabilities. So people management and change management is the third apprehension. But when done right, all of these can be addressed in a methodical manner. We have seen companies go through significant transformation with anywhere as close to 4 months, and in a large enterprise, it could take a year to 18 months. Smart analytics and AI is a journey, and leveraging some of these industry learnings, those apprehensions can be contained.
Okay, thank you, Manju. Hope this answers your query, Rabia. So we have another question from Marvus, which says, "Can you share some information about the recommendations AI service and how this might work if our transactional data is sitting on another cloud service?"
Okay. Pulkit or Praful, do you want to take it or do you want me to take it?
I'll take it up, Manju.
Go ahead.
So definitely, thank you for the question first. But again, if your data is sitting on another cloud service, not an issue, because anyways, Google Cloud promotes the high multi-cloud environment. But again, in any case, if that's not an option, then we can definitely create those data pipelines to bring your data onto GCP. And as far as the recommendation engine goes, so we have one API already available from Google Cloud that can basically accelerate your journey as far as the recommendation goes. But again, there could be certain limitations around it. Reason being, Google Cloud cannot cater everybody's use case, but definitely in that scenario, Pluto 7 can help you out to build up the custom recommendation engines if required. But again, GCP's or Google Cloud's recommendation AI is best in the world for that particular use case. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Pulkit. I hope this clarifies. There's another question, so I'll just read out to you. Give me a moment. This is for you, Pulkit. This is from Divyansh, who's asking, can you please talk about security aspect of Google Cloud, considering organizations with financial data like Paytm and Bharti AXA have migrated their data?
Okay. So this is something that even Praful talked about when he was presenting it, but let me reiterate here. So Google Cloud, or I would say Google, is having one of the largest fiber cable networks across the world. So when your data is in transit or when your data travels, it travels through this particular fiber cable network. And Google Cloud is the only particular public cloud available having this kind of fiber cable network. One. Second thing, uh, the security measures have been taken from the chipset level when we are talking about the Google Cloud data centers. So Google Cloud basically manufactures their hardware on their own, and they take care of those security measures in the chipset itself. Third, we have certain services available in Google Cloud. So, for example, DLP that can help you out to redact the confidential data. For example, your credit card numbers or your phone numbers or your email IDs. Again, based upon the algorithms that are running at the in the back end of DLP. Fourth, we have this key, all the data in Google Cloud Platform is encrypted by default. And in case you want to manage those encryption keys, you can do so with the help of KMS in Google Cloud. Plus, you can also provide your own encryption keys if required. So that's how the security measures have been taken care of or in Google Cloud. Praful might add up if I have missed anything.
Yeah, thanks for that, Pulkit. I think that does a pretty good job of, giving everyone a sense of what's possible when it comes to the security capabilities of Google Cloud, right? But the way to think about this is that from a data standpoint as well, right? I mean, that's the heart of what we've been talking about today, right? About how to secure data. I think just to reinforce what Pulkit was talking about, I think DLP was one that he brought up. But one few other services to maybe think of would be something like IAM, or identity and access management. That's in some ways is the bread and butter for anything that comes to security, right? So that's in some ways where you should start from when you're trying to secure your platform. Then you have something like data catalog, which has this capability to help you maintain compliance across your entire data set as well. So a great solution to build, especially if you have data sets that you built on top of BigQuery, right? I think I covered all of this in my talk, but another thing that's very unique to Google Cloud is access transparency and access approval, right? So with the second feature being something that we just came out with in the last few months during our Google Next conference. So what that does is that with access transparency logs, you can actually get access to log information every time a Google support engineer were to, let's say, do something on your environment. More often than not, that's something that happens on your behalf, right? So let's say you were to create a support ticket and you are interacting with the support engineer, those transparency logs will tell you exactly what happened on your environment. And access approval, as the term suggests, is how you can explicitly define if someone should or should not have access to environment. Again, all of these are services that you should be looking at, and in some ways, it barely scratches the surface when it comes to security because there's so much we can do when it comes to building a secure platform. I would recommend spending some time looking up our security white papers as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Praful. Thank you, Pulkit. I hope we have covered the questions. There is one, last questions that we had just received from Arinjay. This is from Manju. So he would just like to know, how does the magic of analytics work with advertising?
Yeah, so there are several ad tech companies that we work with where we've enabled AI platform for them. From their viewpoint of view, when they look at their customers leveraging their ad tech capabilities, which in turn runs on Google Cloud using smart analytics and AI services, it really boils down to leveraging the digital footprint data that the users leave. And it's not a snapshot, but it's a sequence of digital footprints that they continue to leave. And then you project the that digital footprint to what it's going to manifest into, whether in the form of an upsell, cross sell opportunity, whether in the form of expressing an interest, or in the form of identifying the churn risk of a customer, where you might lose a customer because there's losing interest because of they are clicking on something but they're not acting. In an ad tech or advertising world, knowing this customer's intent and understanding the patterns is extremely critical in today's world, more so today than ever before. Because as we are all experiencing, we are all locked down into more or less a digital world in front of our laptops. A lot of the advertising to sale to interaction to purchase is happening digitally. So this is becoming more and more critical for advertising agencies to not just look at it from an angle of how do I get more clicks for my ad, but what happens through the full journey. So there is some amazing innovation happening, and depending on your interest, we can share some articles if you send an email to contact@pluto7.com.
Okay, thank you, Manju. I think in the interest of time, there's a last question that we would like to attend. So this is from Sumanta. He has a query that can we get any benefits in terms of Google Analytics data and transactions or order report?
Okay,
I
so yeah, any the yeah from the question, it looks like benefits of terms of Google Analytics data and transactions or order report. Looks like the question is more around, can we get Google Analytics data into BigQuery and combine that with order transaction report, it sounds like. If that is the question, the short answer is yes. Google has an offering called Cloud for Marketing. As part of that, you can combine, get your data from GA360, Google Analytics, your YouTube, and many sources. Combine that with your transaction system and get insights. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Manju. Hope, Sumanta, this answers your question. Uh, Thank you, everyone. I think with this, we would like to end this session for today. I thank personally to Pulkit, Manjunath, and Praful for bringing out time and giving related, very informative and taking up this very informative session for our audiences. Um, Before ending the sessions, I would just like to, remind the to our today's attendees that in case you would like to avail a free 2 weeks ancestral trial for the solutions, and also we also have a free 2 hour discovery workshop with the AI experts. In case you would like to avail for that, please drop us an email at response@dnave.com. On the contrary, I had also submitted a feedback form into the chat option. Please feel free to submit your query and we will get back to you definitely. Thank you, everyone. So, thank you, Pulkit, Manjunath, and Praful, for your valuable time. With this, we would like to end our session today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Amrita, for hosting the session. Thank you, Praful, Pulkit. It was a great discussion. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.